Nobody tells you that self respect is very expensive. It can cost you relationships, it can cost you approval, it can also make you feel lonely. But the reward that you will get is peace. Today, I don't want to talk about anything but self respect. Something that I never even thought I would talk about or I would think about because growing up nobody ever taught me that there is something called self-respect that I have to maintain. Since I was very young, I started observing the women around me, and I always found them guilty of something. I always found them over explaining themselves to each other. Women are always, told or taught how to please others, how to be liked by the society, how to walk, how to talk, the etiquettes you should have, how you need to be kind, gentle, humble, caring. But one thing or one word that never came across, was self respect. How to learn to have or gain self respect. But one thing I tell you that once you start understanding what self respect is, and maybe you start implementing things and setting boundaries, and I'll come to that in a moment, you will feel that your circle is getting smaller and you will find yourself lonely for some time. It can feel difficult to begin with, setting boundaries, values, and making sure people adhere to them. But once the setup is done, your life will change. And I promise you, it will change for good. You will find peace because the moment you start to choose respect over everything else, your life will change. And it's not just going to change for you. Setting healthier boundaries actually creates healthier relationships because from now onwards, all the excess baggage that you have hanging around you will actually start to, declutter. And you will find yourself walking or staying in relationships where you feel the best version of yourself. Even when it comes to husband and wife, if wife and husband they both have their healthy boundaries, the relationship is way more stronger than having no boundaries at all. And if you start thinking about it, your life and how, you're reacting to situations, you will feel the difference once you start setting your boundaries. And, when I say setting boundaries, all I mean is that you need to make sure that people around you or people you interact with, whether at work, whether in personal life, wherever it is, they understand how to respect you, they understand what you deserve, and they understand that what your values are. If you are saying, for example, no to something, you don't have to give like 10 pages of explanations as to why you said no. You don't have to be guilty about it. Sometimes we really prioritize others' needs or others' expectations over our own needs and expectations. I actually came across this Instagram account the other day, and I think she's a very, established blogger, and I'm really sorry I forgot the name, but I will try to look for her, and it is a difficult one to remember. But she made this video on how she is trying to flower her own plant, water her own flower plant, and every time she's planning to do this, somebody comes and like brings their own plant and say, "Oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?" And by the time it's her turn to water her own plant, her flower plant is dead. And this is what I say is kind of ruining the self respect in that moment because your boundaries were not set, you were overdoing it. And you don't have to be like, oh no, but she was helping others and whatever. No, how will you help others if you don't have that energy or that power left in you after a while. If you give too much, there will be nothing left in you after a while to actually give. And the moment people will realize that you don't have enough to give, they will abandon you. And this is what women need to understand, that sometimes when you are choosing boundaries, it's not for you to be selfish, or it's not you being selfish in that moment and choosing you over others. You're actually making a long term decision to focus on your health and well being, which is so important for your family. Because your family will always need you. It's not like, oh, today they need you more than later on. They will always need you in some form or the other. And it is so important for you to focus on your mental health, your well being, that you will only understand it once you have depleted yourself of all your energy and all your aura and all your self respect. And one day you will be like, oh shit, what did I do? Many times I have found, women just over explaining themselves, looking for validations, and if they did a lot, but nobody noticed, they will still do a lot for others to notice, because then they will feel guilty. Oh, you know what? He didn't saw me doing all of that. So, he thinks I was just sleeping. So I need to do more. And I heard this conversation, or I heard someone saying this once, and still remember that I was actually like shocked, that people are like women. When I say people, women are always seeking validation, approvals. They're guilty when they feel that they still have done a lot, but maybe others haven't recognized it, and then they will start feeling guilty about it. How many times have been in a similar situation? Just close your eyes for a moment and think. And I'm sure you will find more than one instances where you have given an apology, or you've looked for validation, or you have given too many explanations just for being yourself, or just for doing something that you deserved. Sometimes, if you have to choose between yourself and serving others, and maybe it is okay to do that, maybe serving others in that moment is not needed, you will still choose serving others, because that's how our mindset is. Growing up, that's how we are taught, and we've been told that if we are unable to do that, then we should be guilty about it, we should feel bad about it. And I have been in situations where I have taken out for myself, and then I have really felt guilty about it. Oh shit, I really neglected in that moment, my kids were neglected or whatever. But we need to understand that, everybody here has their own self worth. Yes, we are the bigger people, and we are the givers and all of that, and we do that most of the time. But maybe 5%, 10%, 20% of the time, when we can choose to pick ourselves, do we still do that? So here's what it is, setting boundaries, setting up your values, just making sure people are aware of what you will tolerate, what you will not tolerate, what you like and what you don't like, is so important. And I have really struggled all my life, struggling to convey this message, because people will find it really hard to take that message. People want you to be givers. People want you to put them first. Everybody wants them to be prioritized. So, in short, self respect is simply, you deciding that, your body is basically given to you from God to be taken care of. And when I say body, it's the soul, it's the body, it's the mind, it's the physical health, it's the mental health, it's you. You should not be ruining yourself just to please others. If you set your boundaries, you will feel that your life will become way more healthier and beautiful than before. And it's not because you're being selfish, it's because you're being wise. You're being gentle on yourself, and you're making sure that it doesn't matter if that makes your world a bit smaller, if it makes your circle a bit smaller, because you're kind of then shredding away the excess. So it is really important for women to realize that yes, it is good to be good moms and givers and overdoing, but at the end of it, all within the boundaries that you set for yourself. And that could be whatever. People will understand what your standards are, and all the unhealthy dynamics that go around your life, they will kind of become obvious once you set your boundaries. And it will be so easy for you to kill those fake connections. So easy. Your life will begin to transform, and you will see the changes that you will be a better mom, you will be a better sister, daughter, wife, whatever relationship is most important to you. You will find that relationship will flourish. And I have so many examples to give, but I do not want to take so much of your time in this podcast. But I really want you to practice this, think about this, and leave a comment below on this podcast and tell me, what did you find out about yourself and whether that did help or not. Thank you for coming for the episode 2 of Becoming Her, and I will see you again next week.